4. But once you get over 25 and over, there are particular modifiers, and they sort of compound.
I have a 96.
You have a 96. There you go. So
it is percentile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each one of the stats, right?
Yep. So you do plus 3 damage. You said 97?
96.
97. Okay, 96. I'm sorry. You resist 11 points of melee.
With 23, I'm the kid that's getting sand kicked in my face.
Yeah, exactly. So you can, Jim has the mulligan roll in there. You might want to wait to the end, but you can re-roll 1 score.
Oh, yeah.
And then you also get 1d10 at the end that you can add wherever you see fit.
Is there anything in particular, because I'm a Nephilim, should I go for spirit, toughness, urgency, luck?
Yeah, what's the...
That's a good question. Yeah, I would say, well, with the Nephilim, they have a natural toughness modifier. So let's...
Oh, so it's even going up again?
Yeah, so your toughness is plus 20.
So I actually
you have a plus 20 modifier.
116.
Yeah, so like that basically means almost any roll, unless there's a modifier, you will, like there's no point to rolling because you...
Should I put that in parentheses, or
Yeah.
should I put that in...
No, you need to have it as a modifier.
Okay. Okay, so
What about an ion? What's my
Ions...
bonus stat?
Yeah, ions have some fun let's see. So you have a mind modifier of 20.
Woo.
You also have this eel ability. So 4 times a day you can discharge energy from your body at touch.
4 times a day.
It also sets fire to things. And it inflicts 9 life force of damage to anything in a range, which we probably should have defined.
That's okay. Discharge energy, touch, 9 life force.
Yeah, and then you can also sense energy, so we call it energy sensing. Go figure.
I don't know how this guy would survive.
And then energy absorbing.
Energy.
Well, maybe he won't, dude.
I got a spirit.
I get to kill Ernie.
A spirit of 14, toughness of 23. I can reroll 1 and end of 11, whatever end means.
So is there any special for the main quality
I
then?
got a lot
Yeah.
of urgency.
Yep.
Because I have to pee often.
Well, no, urgency is great because it lets you act more quickly, especially
awesome.
when things are dramatic.
Now, spirit
so
is
Macquarie's
your
ha-
mana, isn't it? Spirit is your mana, isn't it?
No, it's not really mana. It's more like the power of your soul.
Nope.
Yeah. Mana is lay. So your spirit might help you if you have a high enough spirit. So here, let's read
I
it.
got super mind.
So, and you said, well, anyway, I'll skip to it. I was going to read urgency, but I won't do it.
Obviously everything here is...
So spirit is an important measure that reflects a character's inner strength. When a greater spirit ability store, a character is able to wield more powerful lay items and gains extra sensitivity to lay. This is important for a range of potential situations, from exploration to combat, even survival.
Yeah, you're good right there, Scott. He's like, I need to get up. So yeah, I've got 3 bad scores: spirit, toughness, and energy.
Well, no. So you have to understand that even having a 20 is actually pretty dang good.
20%,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So 100, I mean, that's next to impossible. Like he achieved that so easily. I'm thinking, well, maybe that's not balanced very well. Maybe we have to figure that out. But it might work out. So yeah, I mean, my own strength, if I was going to put it on a scale of 1 to 100, I don't think I'd even give myself a 35, frankly. I'd probably be more like a 15. Okay? If you have 100, it means every time you try to lift something, you're going to fucking do it.
Or you could start, starting characters off between 1 and 50.
Yeah, there you go. We could do that.
Like nerf it.
Yeah, and we had a couple of different methods that we used, but like another way that I had it was you have a standard number that you get to apply to abilities yourself.
4 points.
But then I realized I had removed
What about
rolling from the equation.
What
and
about
I thought,
point system? All right. Well, I got to do a mulligan, so that's a 76 plus 20 is a 96.
If there's 6 stats, you do
to a thick
30 points times 6, and then they can add and subtract.
Yeah, well, that was one of the first things, and then I thought, oh God, I just took rolling out of the character creation process. Maybe I shouldn't do
No,
that.
they do that.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah? Because it seemed better that way
it's
for
okay,
me.
isn't it?
But I don't mind it so much myself. But you know, we'll see how it works. We'll see how it works out.
Let's start
We need to
working
find
out.
out what we did on our what do you have?
So
Manquati.
yeah, Manquati have.
Should be up there.
Will they meet me at the curb or do I have to go in and?
I think you have to go in.
All right. Forehead licking time.
You need a mask.
More.
I got one.
FedEx, you say FedEx.
So yeah, you have a +10 urgency and a +5 luck.
I could push myself through.
You also have water
But
skills,
come through.
which means you can swim underwater for an hour without worrying about breathing. You understand water systems and always know what to do to drain swamps or purify polluted areas.
Well, these are all
That's
supposed
like
to be.
him in real life.
Oh, really?
He deals with water.
Well, I thought you were laughing because it's silly. I'm like, oh, it is this.
No.
He's like, yes.
They can always sense water even if it's 20 meters underground.
And let him purify
20
water
meters.
too, Dan.
You also have scaled flesh, which gives you a +15 to your armor.
Nice.
So again, if your armor is 100, unless someone has a modifier, you can't really be hit, right? So that's not really practical in the course of the game. So like skin is a 0 basically.
Yeah.
So does that go with the toughness then?
No, so that's your armor. It's one of the triangles. So you add that to whatever your so that's your base armor, and whatever you add on top of that will give you a higher armor
So
score.
if you're naked, you automatically have a 15.
Yeah, exactly.
And I need scrap droid.
You also have +15 for your to hit when attacking giants or morphs.
For Manquati?
Mm-hmm.
So +15.
Giants and morphs.
Giants and morphs. And those should probably be humans, really. So we talked about spirit. Let's mind. You know, is sort of more so than knowledge or intelligence. We focus on the power of the mind. Using the mind, the player character can overcome a range of challenges. Mind is also a measure of balance. That is, a player character with a higher mind score is more likely to be present, in addition to more conscious, intelligent, and perceptive. I'm sorry. I love my snorting lately. I'm just going to let it out. In GiantLands, we use mind to measure and to understand a character's creative problem-solving ability. And can roll against it to check for the ability to find solutions, even if a player themselves can't figure it out.
That happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he said, well, you've got a great character, and yes, you've rolled your mind, and you just had this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get the bonuses for scrap droids.
Okay. Let's see. You know, and we actually have generic bonuses for androids, which is probably not the best, but it's, I mean, we could probably do a little book just on androids with the way that they're being fleshed out. So right now we have a +10 mind and a +10 toughness for androids.
Nice.
And again, you don't die. We call it reboot. You can be torn apart, but you can always be rebooted.
Nice. Data.
Yeah, exactly. You're always rested. You don't need to sleep, so you don't need to worry about fatigue. An electric touch. You're like an energy being, pretty much. As such, you're good at focusing energy to create effects, including but not limiting to shocking things at touch.
Casey. Casey.
So let's see.
Have you guys been going over other modifiers or anything?
No, not really. We were talking about some other things. So
So far, Nephilim just get a +20 to toughness, and I don't know anything else about
Okay.
Any skill?
no. So you want to go back to the
it. No,
Nephilim?
we just fill them in, because we got 2 players with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What do you
Sure.
start?
One
One of them?
second. So
I rolled amazing, so hopefully I'll do well.
So you have Nephilims have strike twice, multiple lay strikes per round.
So that's lay strikes, 2.
Yeah, yeah,
Strike
exactly.
twice,
Multiple
really?
lay strikes. I mean, that's what it says here.
Okay, that's-
Spirit modifier. So you know,
what's the spirit modifier meaning?
meaning you get a +2 20 to spirit. I'll say,
Oh, okay.
and then you get
20?
yes to Nephilim plus 20 spirit modifier.
No negatives modifiers to any of the other stats?
No. That's a good question though.
So
Negative
in this
modifiers.
triangle to hit, there's 2. I should put 2.
No. So no, that's you get 2 strikes per round.
Okay,
So you're able
2
to
lay
take
strikes.
2 actions. Yeah.
Okay.
What's
But that's to hit. I thought it was only in the lay. Is it both magic and physical combat?
No, and the way it's described here is just for lay. So other people do have like the Anakim have multiple strikes per round. The Nephilim have multiple lay strikes.
What's the end?
Hmm?
End.
What? Who?
End. You have an
And
Endurance. Endurance.
No, there's no endurance. Where is it?
Oh, and right here.
Yeah, END.
You have spirit, mind, toughness, urgency, luck, and end.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I copied it right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
There's a typo.
Yeah, yeah. Endurance.
Where'd you get it from?
Endurance, right there. Under luck.
All right.
Oh no! See, this is an old. This is a typo. So there's not supposed. We don't have endurance in here anymore. So sorry. No endurance.
Typo.
Get
I
rid-
blame Jeff.
Yeah,
Leason.
no endurance.
Oh.
so do you get to get rid of that stat?
Yeah,
that was the best stat I rolled.
Yeah, right. No, there's no endurance in here. I'm not sure. This
I
is
got rid of
left
the
over
luck.
on the
That's
character
good.
sheet. Sorry,
All
guys. So.
Throw away your low die.
Let's see. We could talk about archetypes. I don't think we really need to. Archetypes are just kind of a fun way to kind of inform who your character is. Let's talk about professions. Professions are another big thing. We just did species. We've sort of gone over ability scores a little bit. So a profession is the representation of the skills a character has learned in the pursuit of knowledge. These skills are what a player puts in use over the course of play to solve problems. All characters being common, that is like regular folks, a player must declare their profession if one is chosen. It can be done at any time except during combat. Each profession comes with a unique set of ability modifiers and unique skills that progress and level over time.
With Liam Neeson.
A being doesn't go up in general experience points in GiantLands. However, one picks a profession and gains experience in that profession, leveling it up, as it were. As they rise in experience in that profession, they develop more abilities in it. At any time, a player can abandon a profession and start a new one. Of course, or should they peak out at level 10 and want to gain other skills, they can begin a new profession, but they start over at level 1. They still have all the abilities they earned in their own profession, but now gain experience points in the new profession. It's impossible to go back to a profession once it's dropped by a character. So if you leave it before achieving mastery in that profession, you cannot go back to it to try to achieve mastery. The Spirit Keeper, so section rules, blah, 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 talk about experience. So in this game, we try not to focus on experience with each encounter or obstacle, because it sort of disrupts the fun. So the reward is the pleasure of experiencing this adventure with your friends. Every experience level requires a certain amount of experience points to advance, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we went over that, just repeating. Professions are not jobs, but complementary roles for a character in an adventure party. These are our current professions. There will be more in the future. You'll be welcome to create your own. Players don't have to choose a profession. They can remain common. Common characters are generally less fun to play, so unless you're looking to explore love interests or spend a few days farming, hauling scrap, or working iron, you probably want to pick a profession. The professions we start with, we have 5. We have the warrior. This is the combat specialist, and a hunter, which are always essential for survival, especially in the future. We have the healer, which is trauma specialists that can deal with things from major to minor. We have a survivalist, which are sort of scavengers, which are, just try to survive. The technologist, which are sort of like the lay engineers of this world, and can interface with a range of systems, both current and ancient. And a generalist, which is sort of a jack of all trades.
Would a certain, a higher spirit, mind, toughness, would that lead you into one of those?
Yeah, I imagine,
Obviously, since I have a high toughness, I probably would lean towards warrior.
well, everyone's a survivor in this world, right?
Okay.
It's a brutal world. So most people need to have some basic fighting skills. Yes, as an extremely powerful Anakim, you might be better suited as a warrior. You might be a great shaman, though. You might not be concerned about being a warrior because you already kick so much butt that you would rather focus on learning other skills to kind of round out your character so he's not such a meathead.
Okay.
You get a special ability based on your profession, and you have to roll 1d10 for it.
Can you go over the professions again?
Sure. So, let's see. So we have our warrior. In GiantLands, warrior is one who not only stands for others, but combats universal enemies of all beings, such as greed and ignorance. Ooh, that sounds nice, doesn't it? A warrior only truly lives in service to their tribe or chiefdom, as they understand that it's in the freeing of others that they become truly free themselves. As combat specialists, warriors are both trusted and feared. One of the first professions, warriors defend not just the homestead, but honor and often act as hunters. A warrior is not about making war. GiantLands takes place in a time after great wars. GiantLands warrior is one who's brave for others. The first level warrior is given weapons and armor, specializing in one type of weapon. Warriors can learn to wield one new weapon per level for a total of 10, though they are welcome to use any weapon they find. If they use weapons they are skilled in, they receive a blanket bonus modifier and all combat rolls of +5. Special abilities, I won't read through them, but there's 10, and they're different based upon the role that you have. We have our healer. He's obviously a tough guy. Oh no, that's the survivalist. Forgive me, wrong page. It's the formatting on this isn't correct. Healers are highly respected beings. They're so honored that few intelligent beings, except for giants, attack them unless forced to. The healer crafts many of their own materials for the healing arts. Those that can will find supplies of the ancients that can help them greatly. Generally, a healer uses potions they mix from herbs and spices they find in the wild. They're planters and take part of their day-to-day to improve the land whenever possible. These characters are unusually sensitive to ley energy and can actually manipulate that energy to their benefit. Well, some have very specific belief systems of their own, specific belief systems of their own. Others function within religions of the ancients or some amalgamation thereof. Very much like the healer. Anyway, I'm sorry. I should print a new version. Very much like the healer, the healer's connected with a deep life force throughout the multiverse. So and then we have all these modifiers. Again, that you get one per level, and you roll for them. And so, like some of them are like once in your lifetime, you can heal a creature from a poison attack 100% of the time. So if you're a healer and you have this ability, if someone succumbs to a poison attack in your party, you're guaranteed to be able to heal them once, and only once over the course of that character's life.
Wow. Yeah, one shot.
Yeah,
that's yours. It's not that.
It's that Hail Mary in your pocket, right?
Let them die. Let them die.
Is it worth it, right? I don't know. There's all kinds of things. So the survivalist.
Snake pit.
So the survivalist is a profession
You're gonna die.
that's rarely chosen so much as it's a product of necessity. But yeah, you choose it. The survivalist makes sure to take care of themselves and theirs over and above anything else. So they're not really very loyal. They do what they must to survive in the harshest of conditions. And it's not a judgment. They just need to survive, right? More than just simple bandits, survivalists are curious about everything. They are not the best warriors, but they have studied the art of combat and can be skilled fighters. Able to quickly assess a situation and take action appropriate to it, survivalists are essential for an adventure party. So they have all these, again, survivalist-centric abilities. This is one of my favorite illustrations. This is our engineer by Josh. He did a good job on our engineering. She's pretty.
Nice.
So our technologists are engineers in GiantLands. With the destruction of civilization, knowledge of how to create and operate machines becomes really valuable, right? Those who pursued engineering of any sorts almost become like monks to most commoners, right? Able to fix things whose manuals and makers have long since vanished, or to decipher new pieces of alien technology. They seem to have special gifts.
Evan.
While some of greater mind know them to be trained engineers and sorcerers, they're often idolized as keepers of secret knowledge. Earth is now littered with technologies, new and old, some from off-world, making technology vital to the part of anyone's survival. A sort of priest of lay technologies, this profession can't fight, survive, or heal quite as well as any of the others, but they know how to fix things and make them work. And then associated abilities.
So you survivors?
Yeah.
And then, so here's our,
Survival.
this is our generalist image.
I'll be a tech.
Technologist, I think, is cool. So,
I'm a healer.
Healer.
and then again, a generalist.
One that fixed the other day.
A little bit about
One
everything.
that fixes everything.
Attack.
Oh, no, I'm gonna be tech.
There's
Okay.
warriors too. No one's taken a warrior yet.
I'll be a warrior just because.
Yeah, you got that. I mean,
Strong, I
you're,
wanna
you're
do
beefy,
things.
man. Yeah. And you're this is Anakin, so you're big.
This is your profession, right?
Yes, you're professional.
So survivalist is one.
Mm-hmm.
Survivalist.
Okay, so
I'll be a general.
you want to be a generalist?
Yeah, no one's healer?
So I'm a healer.
Oh, you're a healer?
Healer.
No one's a tech guy then.
Yeah, we
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
You
tech.
have warrior,
You're
healer, survivalist,
survivalist.
technologist,
No, I
generalist.
got mixed up. I'm tech.
He's gonna be survivalist.
Who are you going to be, Scott?
Warrior.
You should really get
Warrior?
rid of the
Okay.
generalist. I don't like the generalist.
You don't like the generalist? Too general.
It's too general, and
Okay.
like we should have something more specific. What?
It's pretty general.
What? I'm lost. So no, it's just it's just kind of boring, especially with the way the system works, where you can level up through all these things. Doesn't make sense. We should have that be another fun profession rather than a generalist. So, I'm sorry, I shouldn't do this live on.
No, that's okay.
No, this is what a playtest is for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's trying to find what sort of thing hasn't been covered here. What sort of you don't have anybody that's what about mutant stuff? What
No, there's mutations in here, so I didn't want to make it a specific character species. Everyone has mutations available to them, and actually they can be received as like gifts from Gaia. So this is something almost like your spirit keeper or your GM can give out to players as rewards and say, Gaia has given you a mutation.
Put your hand into the bag of wonderment.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, depending on the type of character you are and, your sort of philosophy on mutations, you might pick different things. But here, yeah, let me go read that section if you want to get it. There's a
No,
section.
I'm trying to think about another class. What we have?
Oh, right.
Scavenger.
Yeah, so that actually, I think
some
that
sort of-
came from Jim. I forget exactly what he called them originally. So yeah,
Survivalist.
I had a shaman, and I decided that was too similar to the healer, so I got rid of that. And and then I think at one point I started thinking about something that's a little more like domestic, like just like a commoner, but who it's
No,
probably-
no,
yeah, who's-
Archaeological engineer.
Well, that's sort of what the technologist is, right?
Yeah.
Archivist. There you go.
What about a mine guy?
The brain.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that kind of what the technologist
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be?
Yeah.
Some sort of a strange, large brain-looking
Yeah,
egghead
alien.
thing, that specializes in.
And at this point, I
technology.
can't remember the other ones we had, but I know we've gone through a bunch of them, and I could go back to some of the original names Jim had as well. Yeah, I don't know. So that we have our typical kind of battle guy. We've got someone to heal people. We have someone that's particularly good if shit goes really bad and you just need food, right? You just need to
Are there
survive.
vehicles in this game?
Yes.
So a pilot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. So there we go. That was one that
Pilot.
Jim had in there. It was like what did he call it? It was like an animal charmer kind of a thing. And I thought, well, we'll just leave that as abilities for something rather than make it like a specific sort of
Yeah.
profession.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. A driver, huh? Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, is that equipment or is that
Yeah,
is that live? I mean,
Operator.
yeah, is he an equipment operator or is he?
Use all kinds of stuff.
Would be a
It
live
seems
animal.
almost like too much of a like an
Pick up the
accessory.
phone and say operator. Think,
Yeah, I mean,
the
in
Leason.
some versions when you were a warrior, you one of the special abilities you got, or one of the special perks you got, I should say, is you get to pick a mount.
Yeah.
I pulled back from that. You get mounts later. You don't want anyone to start with a mount.
Yeah.
Someone who can take a stone and make a meal for everybody. The old stone soup. That's the old, get the one carrot from the one family and this and
I'm
that.
gonna be a warrior, so we got 3 warriors.
Well, maybe this is where the rappers come in. So I figure in the future all bards are rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for real, dude. I've been trying to get hip hop acts to do this, and I was like, I need a GiantLands hip hop song because in the future, all the bards are gonna be hip hop acts, and we're gonna invite them to come to the park and like do their hip hop group in park, and it's gonna be awesome because they're gonna be like shamans from the future. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You'll be just.
But so that's just a bard. It's really
It'll
just.
be just
It's
as
really
successful as disco here.
Well, hey, you know what? I actually yesterday was speaking to someone who was extremely successful as a result of disco, because they are behind the creation of the village people.
There you go.
And yeah, so that's quite a legacy. So God bless us if we should be able to create something that's successful.
Yeah, that's right. Go for buddy, the village people.
So yeah, I don't know. I think we just have to sort of play. I don't know what the other one would be.
If you're getting rid of that class, you don't like that journalist because it's stealing all the ideas.
Yeah, it's just sort of, I mean, it's like, why bother with it? You know, I mean, you can't get as good as these other professions, but you'd never really switch over to being a generalist. That's just sort of boring.
Oh, what about an intelligent plant?
Oh, I love intelligent plants, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a species.
Yeah, okay.
We'll leave it at
Yeah, we'll leave it for now. So right now we got 4.
I'm a
We'll figure out a 5th at some point here. So what was I going to before we did that? I was going to talk about, oh right, we want to talk about mutations. So let's see here. Is that actually might have been moved over to
Some
Keeper's
vehicles
Guide.
just pulled it.
So I don't know. We want to do Sigil Magic right now. So I don't know. Sigil Magic. We really got to start that one off. Anyway. Oh, are we gonna take a break? That'd make me feel good. Means of exchange, equipment, shelter, faith, mounts. No. All right, we're gonna be back in a minute, guys. We're gonna go eat pizza. I hope this was sort of entertaining in some way.
Hit the mic button to off.
And we're rolling, or we're not rolling, we're live.
biggest pizza ever.
That was enormous. Did you see that? If you go to Twitter, we posted an image on one of our
Facebook.
On Facebook. Go to Facebook.
Say, are we all midgets? Or are these
And
very large?
these giant pizzas, I swear. Everything is bigger in Lake Geneva, even me. So let's see, we're going back to GiantLands here. We're going to continue with talking everyone through character creation. Again, the hope is, and you know how this never really works, is that everyone at the table will have read through this stuff or be a little bit familiar with this stuff. So hopefully in the future this would go more smoothly. Everyone's raw to it, so we're walking through it, and that's fine. It's a good thing. So let's talk about advancements in GiantLands, because it is a little different. Again, we don't have a typical leveling system. I think I guess I don't need to talk about reasons for it. Player characters can advance in a range of attributes, but do not advance in level themselves, though they do age. It's only within the context of professions that a character advances in levels. Each profession has a maximum level of 10. Beginners are considered level 1 to 4. Levels 5 to 7 are considered advanced, with 8 to 10 considered masters. Each tier opens up a special profession-related ability and or bonus. Each level is 1,000 points of experience, a very simple system. Experience isn't awarded on a per kill basis, so much as per problem solved using profession-related talents. It's awarded at the end of game sessions or when player characters are at rest to avoid disrupting the flow of play. At that time, a player can also roll for one additional special ability when they advance a level in their profession. And if the roll indicates a special ability the player already has, again from that simple list that's indicated under the profession types, then the player may roll again to get a different special ability. Stats are data points. We don't need to talk about that because everyone here, I think, understands stats. But they help you paint an image of a character. Sometimes they don't necessarily affect gameplay, but they're really important parts of helping you understand who you are in this world as a character. On GiantLands character, you can see we use name, species, sigil, profession, skill level, experience, chiefdom, tribe, band, hearing, vision, smell, age, height, build, gender, and faith. Stats help us understand the external, internal appearances, conflicts, and desires of a player character. For hearing, vision, and smell, roll a percentile die or D100 for each of your characters, with 100 being perfect and 0 being deficient.
So, okay.
Oh yeah, you want a character sheet?
0 to 100.
Here, you want to see one of the pre-made characters too? I guess there's some. These aren't the current ones. I printed the wrong ones.
We do it for a hearing
So
too?
like that. Yep, for hearing.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't either.
hearing, vision, and smell.
Oh, okay.
Vision's much.
So guys, while you guys are doing that, we'll move on to mutations and evolution, which are sort of a big part of the fun in this game. So Gaia rewards players that help restore balance to the Earth by granting them random mutation called an evolution. This occurs once at creation, and then when good stewardship is shown as determined by the Spirit Keeper. She often appears in dreams or presents portents in the form of unusual animals appearing and offering a reward for completing a task. Gaia is also capable of stripping away mutations from characters from misdeeds, such as further polluting the land. After an evolution is awarded, a player rolls a percentile set of dice, or D100, to see if a mental or physical mutation occurs, and of what type it is based on their score. What follows is a list of mental and physical mutations she commonly hands out. Forgive me for reading this, guys, but I'm sort of enjoying it.
That's all we have to know.
Yeah, exactly. So mental mutations and physical mutations. So everyone rolls a D100 or percentile die, and based upon
here in the mutations?
based upon that score or that number, tell me what that number is, and I'll tell you what
22.
mutation. So 22 means you have the mutation of balance. So you can easily climb things of all types, from ropes to cliff faces to walls. Only when you are carrying less than 40 pounds of material. I don't know why that's in there. I'll scratch that junk out. I hate that junk.
Okay. Wow, I'm really strong. So
Only if you carry less than 40 pounds.
I'm a giant. They can only carry 40 pounds.
I don't know. As a kid, I never liked that stuff. I find it's like a real hindrance to play. Like if you really want to get hardcore about it, but you know, and especially where we're going with live action play here. Sure, most of the stuff will probably be made of foam or whatever, but yeah, you can encumber whatever you can encumber. Let's not like sit here and crunch numbers about it. I'm not that interested.
All
right.
So
Well,
balance, easily climb
Yeah,
ropes and ladders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just a really great climber, and then I don't think there's particular.
I'm
limits
really
on
hoping that you create a game here that's functional and playable on its own, and then if you want to still wear paraphernalia and robes and ornaments.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's
I think that's the only thing that's
see,
stopping
that's-
you from
that's-
becoming a sex robot.
see, that's one of the, that's one of these things that's really. Anyway, we could get into that all day long. I want to address it now.
All right.
But I think that I was earlier today. I was thinking of how I would express my early experiences of, say, Dungeons and Dragons, and I would say that they were pretty raw, probably driven out of your godforsaken cartoon, young man.
I only had a small part to play in it.
Oh, I loved it.
That's what she
I loved it, and it gave us a real fantasy. You know, for a little kid, I think I was already into D&D, and that sort of really brought it home for us. So for us, a lot of D&D was like a place we went to in our imagination. And we'd pull out our swords and we'd run around and attack monsters and pretend we were elves and love in the woods or whatever it was, right? It was
Everything I had that was a bent stick was a bone.
yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
I
A
wanted to be a
broomstick
ranger.
was always, a fantastic weapon. We did so much with tinfoil and cardboard.
And your brother's the one that hangs out in trees.
Yep.
You're the.
But he's always the thief.
Danny the monkey boy.
All right. So anyway, let's keep going on to mutations. I love this stuff.
Mutation.
Though. So anyone else's mutation number?
72.
72. So 72. You have giant strike. Once in 24 hours, you strike at double damage with your weapon for one successful strike. You get to call it out before rolling the percentile dice for the hit, not the damage.
Times 2 to hit.
Yeah, it's double damage.
Double damage.
And once every 24 hours.
Once a day.
That's what.
But you might strike the
Someone
ground.
else
That's for 71 to 75.
Okay,
Is
so someone else.
31.
31. 31.
I got
It's like, ooh, I forgot this page.
What'd you get?
Oh.
84.
This is pretty
You
hardcore.
might be the same.
So you can put any of your abilities. So this is just an ability score adjustment. It doesn't really have like an awesome name. Any of your ability scores can be 120. Just pick one.
Wow.
I got 3.
lost.
You know, the 120 thing is a Jim thing. Jim really was insistent that we needed to have these numbers over, and it took me a little while. I didn't like it because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But in the context of a system that has enough modifiers, it does make sense. Because if you have to have magic or technical abilities, should I say lay abilities, to modify that opponent's score below that.
But as soon
in
as
order
if
for it
I
to
would
be
get that,
successful.
I would whip it into something that I'm really weak in, say like my spirit.
Cool.
And
Hey, you know
Okay,
how
so
you
you
can
just have to
now you can
pre-designate one?
overcome that high
you can
stat
see right
thing
now,
and
yes.
nerf
So I
it.
pick one and
Yeah,
I
You
designate
can
No,
have
so
a
it's
higher
your character,
difficulty
yeah.
roll.
yeah, so you take.
So for
I would
instance,
imagine your lowest stat
Things
is
that are
important
like
to you,
completely impossible,
just
Mhm.
jack it up to about 20,
Right.
which is
or 125%
superhuman.
on the
Yeah.
wall.
Right.
So you could
We
up
literally
the
kicked up to
the
11
ability.
over there.
Sons of
Now,
Hercules.
simple being 50%,
Right.
all the way up to 200%. Because think about the amount of modifiers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This does, with this system as it exists, at least in my head right now, it goes up essentially to 1,000%.
See,
Okay.
Yeah.
so like the most impossible thing you have in your mind, the difficulty number they have to roll is 900%.
Yep.
So you roll your percentile dice, and I rolled a 16 plus all that. So
I'm
I
sorry.
failed because
Yeah.
I couldn't roll.
So yeah, a good example. So let's see in here, like on some of our. So this I'm looking at the index of the fourth age here, which has got, mostly creatures in it. And let's look at some really high level creatures. Let me see. Let's see. I think that's someone else.
Saber giraffe.
All right, so yeah, I mean, here is Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, was an ancient god, arrived on Earth long ago from worlds unknown, opening a great bridge to help others of his kind come to Earth. Many like him are still worshipped as gods, while he appears to be two creatures, in fact one, blah, 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 blah. So his life force is 2,000, and most of his encounter scores are 200 and above. Frankly, they should probably be higher. And his attacks, are all 60 to 180. So that would wipe out most characters in an instant.
As it should.
And
If,
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a god hitting you.
Yeah. So and
Or
to
it's well, he was supposedly what the Spaniards got mistaken for.
Oh,
if you're
okay.
doing, that's Quetzalcoatl. Come on.
so and then
So
frankly,
they
I hope
probably
I hope I rebalanced him because that's not as strong as he should be.
Yeah.
All right. So where else we got? What else?
I
We
got
got
3.
3. Okay. Flight. You can fly as fast as an eagle and carry up to 75 pounds of material for up to 3 hours a day.
Should be like
How
half.
what's the weight on that?
Anyway,
Half
we'll
your,
believe
half
it.
your
It's in here.
strength. I would say.
Yeah. Half your strength. All right,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
You can fly with half your strength.
half-
like you
half-
can lift
half your
stuff.
strength.
You can carry half as much as that and still fly.
You're a
What's your
flying
strength,
fish.
though?
That sounds
Yeah,
good
but
to me.
it depends on what his
Yeah,
strength
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
What is
So
your
if his strength is
though?
low, then he can't do shit.
Flying
Except fly.
fish.
And
Flying
you mean
fish.
But
toughness?
which stat
My
represents
toughness is
strength?
88, so
Oh,
44.
So he's really
Toughness.
Yeah, so that'd be
Yeah.
44 on my 44 to be able to fly.
tough. You're able to. Well,
You're
okay.
able to carry it.
That's just carry.
Yeah. So you're able to fly, and
That's not
then
bad.
additional stuff you can carry. Yeah.
And I have a mutation of 80.
And
Missile accuracy. So this is a physical mutation.
It's one missile type.
And one complete combat round within 48 hours, this mutant doesn't miss with a missile weapon of any type of their choice. So it's just like, immaculate strike on any missile weapon of your choice once every 48 hours.
Ooh, sounds great. I told him the story, but
61, that's pretty good.
Yeah, say what you wish. Go for it, Ernie.
There's 61 over here.
I kind of like to have a rubber boomerang, so it always do one throw.
Just bounce off everything and come back.
I mean, you're welcome to research that technology and see if you can make one.
We have 61 over here.
61, thanks. Walk on liquid. You can carry up to 100 pounds and walk on any liquid surface. And it says any liquid surface, so I'm going to say any liquid surface.
Lava.
Was
Yeah.
that you?
McCarty?
No.
Scott.
Oh. I was wondering, I didn't want to miss, because you're at 80, I'm 84.
Oh, my
84.
84?
Is missile accuracy.
Yeah.
And I'm-
84 is miss me.
Miss me.
The first successful attack of any given combat round, that attack misses this mutant.
You miss me.
So the first successful attack in any combat round misses you.
That's really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
You need to be a freaking
The front man, right?
or
Don't be me. Don't be me.
you're a survivalist or a warrior or something.
Yeah.
Anybody else still missing a
You haven't picked your
mutation? I
species
don't think we
yet.
hit them all. No? Yeah?
What?
We
You haven't
good?
picked your species
Yeah, I guess
yet.
I'm going to be.
Okay.
I'm just going to do an old-fashioned slingstone.
Oh, that's
In
fun.
between avian
Yeah, so we're almost down to weapons
I'm
and
a
stuff.
Nephilim.
And so, yeah, I would go, yes, I mean, so go for it. Write that down, Ernie. So, we had, Jim had this thing in here, and I understand it
Probably.
in some
None of us
ways,
does it.
where you start off every player with a certain amount of resources, right? And then that player can use that stuff to buy things. That's just never the way we really played. I'm not really that worried about it. So you're going to pick a weapon that you want that works with your character, and you get to start with that weapon.
What's the bird person species?
What do you mean? What are they?
Yeah, no, what are they called? Because he hasn't ducked and choose.
Those are avians.
They're just called avians? Okay.
What kind of weapon types are they?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I was going to talk about augments and cyborgs, but you can get augmentation and cybernetic stuff does occur in this game. We haven't really explored it too much. We've only very briefly touched on it, but we sort of leave the door open for your character, especially at starting conditions. Feel free to make something up, and if your spirit keeper, in this case me, agrees with it, go for it. That's a cool thing to give your character, a characteristic that you find compelling. So, again, augments and cybernetic abilities, because this is the future. So,
Third leg, whatever.
yeah, exactly. If you want to try it, man, go for it.
Tripod.
But let's just make sure we understand that as a starting condition for your character.
Well, I have such poor hearing and poor smell
What?
that it's absolutely.
can't even hear
I
what he
have
smells.
just average vision. That maybe I got some stupid ass visor like Jordy had or something in that series.
Jordy's visor was cool. Do you diss
Well,
Jordy?
Well,
What's
you
up?
have one, but you wear it this
No,
way.
but I
Ernie.
can only see.
You wear it over your
Oh,
nose.
I'm a healer type, so maybe I have to have some sort of.
I love Jordy.
Instead of hearing and smelling, I'm doing something. I guess I'm having to deal
But he
with,
has 3 armpits that can play them all. That's the best part.
especially
What
as
do
you
we do
said,
for age?
watching.
So let's talk about these savings throws, right? Because they keep coming up. So lay, poison, and to hit. So these are things in games that characters use when they need to resist something. When it happens, they roll percentile die, and this sort of works the opposite, right? So you want to roll low here. If you roll low enough, you can resist what you're trying to avoid. Savings throws work for resisting poison, resisting magic lay effects, and resisting several types of damage. And then we also have hit that's included in there. So, I don't know why it's a savings throw in this version. They're really supposed to be, I think the better term I use is encounter scores.
Okay. Well, so these encounter scores, are we actually rolling percento dice for each of them and recording these?
No, these are
Okay.
not rolled. These are according to...
Roll, and we have to put so many points here. And,
Yeah, so they're based on...
Or other skills.
Yeah, your other skills, and they're also modified, based upon your armor and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna get to weapons and armor next. So In a battle for Earth with a constant barrage of visitors from other systems, the planets become full of a range of strange things. Conventional weapons of the Fourth Age have largely vanished, meaning weapons from now are largely gone. Occasionally, though, they do show up as relics, though few actually ever function. If you're a technologist, though, you might be able to figure it out, right? Most in the Fifth Age keep lay energy weapons or classic melee weapons available for hunting, game, and personal protection. Only few use them for bounty hunting, blah, blah, blah. Players and spirit keepers are welcome within reason to use their favorite weapons from any age of Earth. The only exception is that weapons of mass destruction and bullet-based projectile weapons aren't, very much part of GiantLands. Metal armor is scarce, but available. Beings of high status might have more armor. I'm trying not to just read this verbatim. With most just using basic clothing combined with scrap or forged or handmade goods. So that's not only creatures that can take a player's life, but nature. So you need to pay attention to the weather sometimes, and if you're not dressed appropriately, you can pay the price. All player characters have basic loincloth to start, which has no armor value, so you're essentially 0. Any additional armor is added to the total armor. When a player character is created, a D10 roll is rolled for once for clothing. Right. Yeah, I forgot I shift over to this. So this is good. So to keep it simple, because to move it through it, you roll a D10, and this is how it's awarded. So it's not a pick and choose. I lied. And this was supposed to be for efficiency, which hopefully you guys appreciate at this point. So everyone roll a D10, and this is your basic clothing armor.
Yes, go ahead.
So
God damn it, man.
Okay.
6.
a 6, you have some boots, which give you a +5.
All right.
Okay.
Boots?
Yeah.
Slippers.
Boots in your loincloth, boy.
G-string.
I got an 8.
You have.
That's a country western song.
This
And
is.
spurs.
It says plates. This is a typo I don't recall. So let's see. Solar pads, hooded cape, breastplates, I guess.
So
It's
that
like-
+5 goes in our triangle?
It's like the
Got 0.
Clint Eastwood, right? When he's doing that western and he's got that boilerplate on.
Yeah. So breastplates. I'm sorry. 0. That's a roll again, I guess.
So that goes here, +5?
Yeah, exactly.
9.
9. You get a hooded cape +1. Hey, that's
Aw,
appropriate. Did everyone else need
Not
their
as good as my
armor?
shiny boot.
3.
I rolled.
3 is Fiberon, which is a special sort of synthetic armor.
What was it?
Fiberon.
Fiber on.
In smell-o-vision.
It's a strange, tightly fitting synthetic armor.
Ooh. I rolled an 8.
You got your breastplate, man. 9.
Breastplate.
Another hooded cape.
Okay, +1.
Thank you very much.
The hooded cape, yes, is +1. The breastplates are +2.
In a triangle.
+2. Then how are my boots a +5?
So, and then, okay, now you guys get to roll again for a standard armor item.
How are my boots better than a breastplate?
No, your boots are +3. Oh, wait, they are +5.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're fucking killer boots, dude.
Yeah. They're thigh boots or something.
Exactly.
Bye, Hans.
Stiletto heels.
Yeah, I guess
That's
I don't
kill
know
you.
what the hell this is. It just says plates. For all I know, it could be dishes. I'm sure this isn't I'm sure this isn't the final version. Forgive me.
They're going to be metal plates.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah,
A
so
couple
breastplates.
cup,
Breastplates will give what, a +7? You think?
They got to be more important.
Then boots?
Than boots. Boots I could see
7
allowing
seems like
me
a
to.
lot.
Hey, these boots were made for walking.
Hey, the boots.
Yeah, well, that's just it.
Never
Like, I
heard
mean,
someone
you're in
say
a rugged
this
land, dude.
chainmail
You guys
is-
can
The
get
boots probably allow me to
Chainmails.
go on terrain that these other guys
So-
have
I got a
trouble with.
6.
Yeah.
See, I,
The 6, that's the
I
boots. So you got the +5 for
insane.
boots.
No, you said roll another D10.
Oh, for the new one. So you have a Ron top, which is sort of like basically like
Samurai
samurai armor, new samurai armor.
Okay, where do I put that down?
That goes under. Well, yeah, you don't have like your equipment or armor section under there. Just
Put
like
it on
a.
the back.
Yeah, just put it on the back,
Well,
and that's a
over
plus. That's a +20 to your armor. That's great. You did
Plus
good.
20 to my armor?
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're at 25 with boots and a Ron suit.
Wow.
Yeah. So did you roll?
No, second time?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's an 8.
You have an ion top.
An eye on top.
Yeah, which is a really. I mean, it's
light.
yeah, it's actually from the Ion species or the Ion warrior clan.
Oh, okay.
It's their armor. So it's some of the best stuff in the
That's me. I'm Ion.
multiverse. Yeah. So you might want to give it to your buddy. You can do that.
If you're caught
But
with
we'll see. So he can use those technologies. But it is good stuff.
What'd you get?
So
Maybe
it's a plus 25 to your armor.
wouldn't that piss
Yeah,
you
I just
off?
always want to give away.
I don't know.
Yeah, plus 25. So now you're at 30.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, which is again.
Fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Mhm.
two?
Make sure before
A
you
2
kill
is
him.
an exo top.
He heals you, then kill him.
So it's
My
essentially
job
like
is
a
gonna be
yeah
to go in the
exactly.
middle
So
of
that doubles
action.
up. And I guess
fighters.
I mean we
And
could
I'm
make
gonna
a
be
rule
walking
for that.
Right up the.
But I figure, I mean, I guess we should leave that up to the player, and you can say you can keep that, and you can use it for trade. It might be something you want to save for later or give someone else, or you can roll again for either of the items.
1.
For which item? For your standard or your basic?
So I keep the breastplate, and I'll re-roll as a 1.
Okay, you got a scrap top. It's a plus 10.
So another top.
Yeah, it's another top. They're all yeah. So maybe we should get rid of the plates. Maybe they weren't breastplates because it doesn't make sense then. Huh? What the hell were they? I don't know. So I should.
Plate pants.
Yeah, I should replace that with something else.
God piece.
Yeah, God piece, there you go. So
You
let's
got a
see.
big-
What
a
would be
big
better?
ornate
What would be? We
cod
already did the
piece.
breastplates. We got all the because it's
Like
all.
cod piece.
It was all, to be honest. I mean, if I might be frank, this is all driven by this amazing artist. I asked him to draw some armor, and I gave him reference, and these are the ones he created, and they were so cool. I just kind of went with
Yeah, you
them.
want to go with the pictures?
Yeah,
All
because
right.
they're
Like
really
copies.
really great.
Yeah.
So
I still like
so let's replace the breastplate.
Florentine fighting.
Let's say you have, what is it, like a burlap jumpsuit kind of thing, like burlap pants.
Wow.
You know,
Chap like
maybe
crazy.
burlap's not a great material.
Leather.
That's kind of shitty. Yeah, leather.
Carbon fiber?
Yeah, leather or like some kind of we'll say woven. You know, like a woven armor kind of a thing.
Like Evan and all his spider
Yeah,
webs.
and I would say that's probably pretty good. That's like one of the best basics, and I'd say that's a plus 9.
Okay, so it's woven out of other materials rather than just
Human
vines,
hair,
great
human hair.
vines or something.
Well, no, because it's
Human
a
hair.
full body. So
Yeah.
it's giving you extra protection over your full body.
Yeah, but I mean, what's it made of?
It's made out of an extra special plant that was brought in by the Manquati Trade Alliance. It's a reed from another solar system.
Okay,
Alright, so I've
so it's a
got.
flexible.
Aquatic.
So I'm manquati, so I have scales, so I get.
Oh, you sure it's probably
Yeah,
underwater?
exactly. So you already
Sure.
have the scaled flesh.
Sure.
And then it's
Underwater
adding 9
plant
to that
material that
total.
when it's out, it
Add an
dries.
additional 9. So you have that, what is it, 5 plus 5, I believe, for the scaled flesh.
Maybe they even have to make it
And then-
underwater.
Yeah, oh, it's 15. Okay, so 15 plus 9, so
to
it's
make it
24.
pliable. Yeah,
So
that's how you
plus,
get onto it.
Goes back.
which top was your better top? I think was the exo top, and that was a plus 20.
Okay.
So you have a 44 armor, which is awesome.
Goodness.
Yeah, you start off pretty strong, right?
Yeah,
Started out as Sister Mary loincloth, and there you go, Jim.
Yeah, my thing with that is
But
I
you fill that well.
We just did that sound. That was great.
Yeah. What's
Anyway.
a 6?
Oh, there you go. You got the Ron top as well, so that's sort of like Neo Samurai armor stuff. So plus 20.
So is this lacquer armor? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're talking about with samurai?
Scale lacquer.
Yeah.
I got a 4.
Okay.
No, is that hooded?
So that's probably not metal as much as it's different. It's probably lacquered hide. It's probably.
I got a question with that. The hooded cape, does the hooded cape have any armor to it? Or?
Yeah, it did. Plus 1.
Okay.
I got a 4.
Main armor. Main armor. You have a Shen top, which is a really. I mean, it's sort of a beat up old Shen warrior top, but it does have some kind of melee abilities on it. I should say from some of the what would you call it? Spikes sticking out of it. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, you said
So-
Shen, didn't you?
Shen, yeah.
Shen.
Shen.
Oh, Shen.
No.
Okay, it's that.
That's it's only a plus 12. I'm gonna change that. That should be more than a plus 12. I'm actually say that's a plus I almost want to say, let's see, where are we? Ion top is supposed to be really good. I guess that's sort of beat up. So, yeah, we'll go with.
You don't take care of your stuff.
We'll
Told you about that.
I think it's gonna be another.
If iron top's supposed to be the top, then don't make
See,
it
I understand why I made it a 12 now. Let's just leave it at 12.
12
It's a 12.
plus 12.
Yeah.
You're like one of them wrestler guys with the big spikes coming around.
Yeah, and it doesn't protect your legs or anything, but you know it's got forearm covers and shoulder covers, sort of breast and back, and a loin
Like
kind
he's
of
quilled?
protective
Is it
thing.
kind of like he's quilled?
No, it's basically like plate armor.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
Like a Raiders fan.
Yeah, it's just
yeah,
it's just well loved. Yeah,
Okay.
nothing too fancy,
I'm a warrior.
but you know, good stuff. Does everyone have their standard armor
the
then?
gasoline and
All right, let's move on.
So the next
So everyone.
All I ended up with was a breastplate.
Oh, all right.
Second one.
So now remember we changed the breastplate so that now that you
Did
have,
you roll the other one?
because that was your first.
Go.
So that was, we changed it to that suit.
Oh, so did you change that to 8?
No, we changed it to a +9 woven alien reed
Oh, okay.
suit. We'll call,
That's good because you're an avian,
I like
so
that.
you can
That's
fly.
cool.
You're an alien duck.
You're an avian duck.
Oh, so
Hey,
yeah.
what?
So you're like Howard.
You're an avian
yeah,
duck.
there we go. We'll call it a Manquati reed suit.
Man, you're white.
Like Howard the Duck now.
Yeah.
No duck.
I don't know, I made that name up a long time ago.
I like that.
Thanks.
Good.
Thanks.
And then what do I roll? Another 10-setter?
Oh yeah, roll one more please.
An 8.
An 8. You have an ion top,
Oh,
which does not include the cuffs.
But what's good with that top is that it would even really fit him. Right?
Yeah, you want
you were
to
talking
So and again, ion armor is fantastic. You know, an ideal situation would be to be an ion clan mutant with an ion top and ion
I'm an
cuffs.
ion.
Yep.
I'll
So
give it to him.
Yeah,
Well,
you guys can trade. You guys can do that
We will
stuff.
do that.
Yeah. So when, as you see fit.
Shen top. SHEN top plus 12.
Well, no one got this really dope reed armor. But, oh well.
What you have?
Let's see.
Yeah, all
So
it was
next
was
we get to do our weapons, right?
cuffs or something?
Ooh, we got pole arms.
Yeah, we've got standard melee weapons and we got standard laser weapons. You know, a big
25.
part of GiantLands is awesome
25.
lasers. Awesome energy lasers.
25.
What's that? You have 25? What?
Just remember me and you're well.
No, the ion top.
The
without
ion
cuffs.
top is
So-
plus 25.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So everyone roll another 10, D10 for your standard laser weapon. Assuming you want one, you don't have to take one.
2.
A 2. You have an H2K V2.
H2K V2.
Yeah, it does 9 damage. It's an Anakin weapon. So you get
It always
And
has
that-
a lower ground.
it's a what? it's a level 2 phase weapon, which means it has a +2 modifier for an Anakin user. So you have a +2 modifier.
It also does
2.
not like sand.
In general.
So,
I need you to
plus
call
2
it Billy
modifier
on
to
Fridays.
which one?
Warrior.
What's that?
Plus 2
Survivalist.
to which one?
+2 to damage.
To damage?
Yeah.
I don't see damage.
Oh no, to your weapons damage though. So you get so,
So
here you go.
9.
So like so yours is you got a number 2.
Yep.
So that's your weapon,
Okay.
and it's a +2 modifier. Let's not make it on damage. It's like +2 on your roll, which isn't much, but it's
tank because
Okay. I rolled an 8. Pair of 8s.
a pair of 8s. So you have a
Great.
really cool weapon. So you can see, you guys might want to. I wish like I could put this up on the thing there because they're kind of small, but they're cool little drawings. It might help you imagine. So that's a Mank R, MANQ-R. It's a Manquati Trade Alliance soldier rifle.
Jim, he's got your weapon.
So and that does a damage of 10.
Oh, you do? Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I suppose
we all
we
got
should
8s.
do something about ranges and stuff, and that maybe should be included in here. I've never been too particular into that stuff, but and some of them obviously have better ranges than others because some of them are more like small sidearms, or some are these bigger rifles.
Short, medium, long.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have a range.
Yeah, short, medium, longs worked for a lot of things. For all archery type
I
fire.
should sit down. Forgive me.
Well,
Stream
games
better.
and
Short,
games
better,
and
long,
years
better, medium.
Yeah, you
So,
might have slight pluses at short.
Anyway, I'll pass this
nothing
around
at
after. Maybe you
zero,
guys can look at
negative
it. So what other rolls do we have?
zero.
And there are some on
What'd you
here
get?
that you can't get additional
I rolled
weapons.
a un, por favor.
What was the plus?
So that's
I
H2KV1.
didn't get that yet.
So that's like the most basic laser weapon. It does a damage of 4. It's an Anakim level 1 phase
I
weapon.
think we're
So
at 9.
if an Anakim welds it, they get a +1 to their
Okay, but
to
What was
hit.
the plus?
those
on
of
the
us
rifle?
using a Manquati soldier rifle,
You guys had a +9.
Mhm.
+9 it's at.
10.
Ooh.
No, that was a +10 actually. The Mankar,
Yeah.
that was a 10 damage.
Mankar?
Yeah,
You
damage.
rolled a
Okay.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't say
Nice.
when damages. We just say 10. We don't say +10 because
Just 10.
there were way too many instances I found in here, and I couldn't tell if it was just because I'm not the RPG player I used to be, where there was all of this bad math stuff happening. And we were talking about percentiles and stuff in the wrong places, and I thought, and I'm a little leery of that. So I don't want to say damage is plus, and we aren't going to roll for damages. Like, we're not going to really worry about that too much. So this is just a standard damage that it does, and there might be modifiers, right? And yeah, so that's what it is.
Does this system
So
got
zero to 10.
peel damage off stuff?
Mhm.
So, okay.
What weapon is a 10?
The 10 is a Akka ray gun. It's an ancient human-made ray gun technology. It does a 15 damage.
Wow!
Nice.
You are the black.
A master blast way over here.
Does anyone else have
I got a 5.
5? That's a trad. It's a capital TRAD. Does 11 damage. It's a common Manquati Trade Alliance sidearm.
How much damage
And
is
so, and if you are
yours?
of the MTA, I think you get a +5 to hit modifier with all MTA arms.
Which
And which, if so, and any Manquati as part of the MTA, unless they decide that they don't want to be, which we could deal with.
all right. So we have a player that's a Manquati.
Yeah, I'll trade him if he needs it.
I
Yeah,
have a Manquati
Yeah,
rifle.
and that's maybe one of the reasons you could rationalize why you have such kick-ass armor. Manquati have access to a lot of resources, right? They're very savvy, they're great traders, right? And they know how to get the best of things. So chances are you had access to that stuff, and you know how to use it.
Is there any perk to having the blaster over the rifle?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Is there any perk to having the blaster sidearm versus the rifle?
Yeah, at this point it's just basically additional damage, but yeah, we're also talking about range as well. So you get additional range from larger weapons as well as doing additional damage. It's pretty simple.
Hey, what's the race name for the bird people?
Those are avians. So
They're
avians, so we basically open it up to you can be all kinds of anthropomorphic characters in this space. And so we had, at first we were calling them out individually, and I decided we'll just call them all morphs. And you can basically be a morph of all kinds of things. Standard starting, we have avians, which is something Jim pushed hard for. They're great, basically bird people. Really cool, highly intelligent, thin bird people. I think not Dildana, I think, anyway, I won't get into Barbarella. I won't get into Barbarella. What's the guy's name of Barbarella?
I know, but that's what the birds are going to be constantly doing.
No, Barbarella. So, and then we have the Gadians as well, which are the cat people.
Are you copying me? Are you copying me?
Because naturally, there's going to be people that want to be cats, and we have some cool pictures of them, and they look kind of badass. And I get it. I sort of like some cat people all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I saw cats, and I don't know.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Even my own son, and about 45 minutes in, was like, "Dad, what's this movie about?" I was like, "I don't know. We need to go."
It's about an hour and a half too
Yeah,
long.
I don't like cats.
I love musicals. I love Andrew Lloyd Webber, but anyway, we'll go into that.
I rolled
So let's go
four.
standard.
I rolled a 6 on the
All right,
next
you
one.
got a 6, so you got a scrap dirk.
Strap dirt.
Scrap dirk. It's just a small dirk made out of scrap, and it does a 3 damage.
It's like a prison scene.
Yeah.
All right, so anyone else standard melee weapons rolls?
Yeah. 2.
Ion staff. You have 5 damage. That doesn't make sense. Ion staff, 5 damage. Ion staff should be like 15 damage.
Like a scripter.
And actually, what it does is it can drain lay energy, so you can like strike things with it and pull their energy out.
Damn.
Cool. Yeah.
What'd you get?
We all have a basic thing besides the
I have
ray gun,
that.
or is it set up?
Yeah, you all have
Next
a
weapon.
standard melee and a standard
We're rolling
laser.
for the next
Yeah.
weapon.
Oh,
Whoa.
you're lucky that wasn't on me.
Melee.
4.
The ion rod. Does 12 damage.
Nice rod.
It's an ion-made warrior rod that charges you with lay energy. So it gives you a +5 lay modifier.
Here's my shank.
We got a 2. Oh, wait.
That's a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
a
you
good
got
one,
a 2? You got a 2? You got the ion staff as well.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
iron
yeah.
staff.
Yeah, that's a 15 damage.
Wow.
So don't roll a 6.
What's the
Man, you got all this ion equipment.
I like ion.
Yeah.
What do you have for
Yeah, and again, so if you are ion, I guess we should just make that standard modifiers are +5 for all species using weapons or armor made for or by those species.
What's the 7?
A Neverk blade, like Neverk blade. It does a 12 damage. It's a holy kind of steel blade made by the Neverk warrior tribe.
Zero have anything, or do you have to reroll?
No, zeros are rerolls. So here, I'm gonna pass this around. You guys can look at it. Get an idea what we're talking about. That was one of those last minute things.
Wow.
We didn't have them, and I said we really need to have images of these weapons. Let's put them in there. Kind of helps paint the fantasy a little bit more,
Did you talk to him about
and especially in the context of live action
I
role
asked
play.
him and he never
Those are going to be
responded.
really important.
Are you up to
The pictures don't match the
Oh, okay.
numbers of
Great.
giant tooth. And that's. Oh, I guess that is.
Yeah, that's a
right
tooth,
there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Wow, man, I wish I'd rolled a 10.
What was that?
Giant tooth gives you +30.
It's a big, really big magic staff.
That's what I need being a giant. I don't need a stupid scrap jerk.
Yeah, as a Nephilim, in my 1/3 is again as tall as a human, it's a time and a half, 150.
You can range up to 3 meters, so you can be about 15 feet. Or I'm sorry,
Whoa, that'd be
you can
9
be
feet.
9 feet. Forgive me. See, this is why we need to learn the metric system, people.
So I met an Australian on the plane back from Hawaii, the one trip, well, 2 Australians actually, and the one was an older gentleman, and he was around when Australia was going to change over to inches, so he knew not only metric system, he knew inches, he knew Fahrenheit as well as Celsius.
Ah, that's
He'd be like, Trevor would say, "What is this one, Richard?" And Richard would go, "That'd be 21C or whatever." And I'd be like, "Holy crap!" That's pretty impressive. when you think
Yeah.
about it.
No, a weird place to live for that was in Canada. Canada kind of switches back and forth at its convenience depending on situations. It's a little odd. So I got a little used to it myself. My thing is that it's nice to be able to talk to people from other places, and they often have no idea about our system because no one else on the planet uses it. Go figure.
Yeah, an easier, better system. Go figure.
That's why I'm 8 feet 5 inches.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You can pick it. You can pick it.
And worth every penny or inch or something.
So yeah, and there was this section. I mean, I guess I could go into. Are we passing around? Okay, we got it over there. So one of the things early on with this was I really wanted people to. This was sort of before its current incarnation, I should say. I really wanted people to be able to be giants because I felt like giants were sort of
Always a foe?
secondhand. They were always considered stupid. They were foes. And what fun it would be to be able to play a giant. Now, in the context of an RPG, you could certainly do that. And the Rephaim in this game are extremely, and the Imim are extremely large giants. I could see a case for where a player character could do that. But when you get in the context of a LARP kind of situation, it doesn't play very well. You can sort of pretend people are taller or shorter, but when it comes to scales of that size, like I think I'd have to go back to one of the original prototypes for very early. I mean, I guess it's still a game that could be made in this universe, and it's you are in control of a very large giant, like moving through the earth, trying to control mankind as it's growing. It's sort of like an RTS that I made a prototype of years ago. But,
so the Neverk is actually steel.
That's Norwegian.
Yeah, steel.
Stands for.
Now, with the ion-made staff is a lay draining weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure that the 5 wasn't right, and that the lay draining is like a level and is something horrible in its own right? Because you just are making it 15, and you gave me one, but let's.
Yeah.
But
Well,
do you want it to just? Is it more of the draining that's important than the hitting?
well, if we removed the ion element, then yes. But as an ion thing, that's why I rationalized, well, as ion, it's going to be made with ion technology, so it's going to be extremely strong. And if you were to strike someone with
That's
it,
exactly design.
if you were to strike someone with it, it could do a lot of damage. So that's why.
So why is it draining lay? I mean, do you really want a simple starting thing to be
Be so powerful.
To be so powerful.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't
Yeah,
want the draining
I mean,
ability.
like some weapons, there are some you can't roll for, and obviously there's more weapons than this. I just wanted to sort of give a palette to start with, right?
Well-
So yeah, maybe since, but it's a staff, then it would be a rod. That would be the rod that would be 5. So we have a sigil rod, which is that would be maybe less damage, but a staff's pretty big, right? And that's that's the ion staff, man. That thing is huge, man. You're gonna kill some motherfuckers.
So, but why is it stealing the lay energy? Just because it's
That's
that what's feeding it?
No, because ion creatures are energy creatures.
So I mean, they're absorbing it. So is that? How
So it's
they're-
like an enchanted staff.
Okay, it's an enchant.
But it's not enchanted. It's technology. It's ion technology.
All right.
So it's
Why am I stealing lay energy from somebody else because I have an energy thing?
It basically reduces their abilities to resist certain things and to use certain lay abilities. So essentially, you make it so they can't charge their weapons. An android couldn't function anymore. An android can't function anymore because it's an energy-based world. It's based off lay energy. These 4 types of lay energy.
Sure.
There's major schools and there's minor schools. It gets sort of too complicated, and I don't know how to work that in. So I've sort of downplayed it.
So this is just this item is anti-spellcaster.
Yeah, but everything in this world that's powered in some ways is using lay energy, right? So there aren't magic users in this world. So lay energy is like energy that might come out of the wall, just that it has a different charge value, right?
Luring out. My
Yeah.
mom always thought that. Oozing out of the electricity.
Well, it's crazy. You can charge things wirelessly now. Remember how when I was younger, we were like, Tesla, man, he made it so you just took it.
Let's not go there. All right.
So, and you can now, right? So, yeah. So that's what it is. It's a wicked staff that you're very lucky to have,
All right. Nice.
and you probably paid me a lot of money for it. No, I'm teasing.
Jealous, jealous.
And if you wanted a real one,
It'd be 4
It'd be a
characters.
high value
here
item.
shortly as we
so let's
start
see.
switching
Number
each other
4
off.
is see these are. Anyway, they should be maybe
What's up with
switched
the
around.
staff?
But let's just stick with it. It's working for me for now.
Okay.
And yeah, so I understand the idea of making people level up, but I also figure there's some people that won't come again. So this is something actually I sort of learned in video games, and I learned it actually being a musician as well. I'm not a great salesman a lot of times. We call it the James Bond, right? And so this is how you tell a James Bond story. You basically kick someone in the face at the beginning of the story with an intensity, right? And this is how you capture someone in the context of a AAA game as well, right? And you have that first encounter, those first 5 minutes, And if you listen to music these days, I mean, do you guys listen to music? Do you listen to new music? You skip through it? You might listen to a track. Sometimes I'm terrible these days. It might be 2 or 3 seconds. You have a very small window to capture someone's attention. So if I'm bringing a new player to the table and I'm asking them to play GiantLands, yes, I want them to be able to walk away and say, I kicked fucking ass today, and I'm going to go back tomorrow, and I'm going to go play that game again. Not, oh, I'm going to have to go through this meat grind of however long to get a level 60 character. You know, you could talk about balance issues, but for me, a character that sticks around longer, the gain isn't necessarily the power so much as the experience of the world and that character and understanding it and their place in it that'll just make it more fun to play in. And that's, you know, it's sort of the same thing like when I was doing Evermore Park, and I said, you know, you don't want to give people gold coins at the end of something, right? You don't want to have people arrive at the other side and be like, oh, now you win a prize. No, that's not what we're doing here. We're not saying, oh, you've got all this gold now. And that's something in the original D&D I find really compelling. And it's a good sales technique. You'll get rich and famous when you play our game. But I don't think it
It
is...
won't have to be on food stamps.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
how this works? No, wait. Bad examples.
yeah, so you know, you don't have to do the grind. I'm not worried about the grind. And yeah, in the context of you know, a lot of entertainment now, you want to kick someone in the face because people's attention spans are really short. And you know, this is a saturated space. No one has any reason to play my game. And so if I, you know, bring them there and you know say, hey, now you have to work to like get good, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna go play something that lets me kick ass right now. Right? And so I want
let's
I
kick
want
some
someone,
ass.
yeah, I want
Right
someone
now
to
we
be able to
haven't
do that.
kicked in the ass.
Yeah, I
Now
know,
we got
it's
some big
good.
characters.
It's
Got
so
our weapons,
boring.
Let's kick some ass.
Yeah, we're there. We won't go into chiefdoms and social stuff and archetypes. So I think we're like good.
How are
almost.
we
I
all
think
able to meet?
I think
All different kinds of people.
Yeah, well,
No,
yeah, because it's the future, man. Everyone gets
What
young
about-
in the future.
What about the hit and poison and
What's it called? Cantina.
Oh yeah, we need to know. Yeah, to hit,
Yeah,
Cantina.
play,
So-
and then poison.
and I don't think any of you got your special abilities for your professions, did you?
No.
Yeah. All right, so who's the warriors?
Warriors.
All right, warriors. Let's do a D10.
D10.
Ooh, you have extra 5 points of damage with a melee weapon.
Nice.
A melee weapon of his choice.
Yeah, yes, a melee.
Or is it
with-
any?
only weapon.
yeah,
All
that's a
melee
good
weapons.
point. Yeah.
Is it all
With-
melee
yeah, with-
weapons?
With any.
Any. So yeah, you got a +5 to anything you do for damage.
You're a melee warrior.
It's not a whole bunch, but it's a blanket cover.
Pretty
Well,
good.
he already kicks pretty strong butt.
Okay.
Lopping people in
What'd
half.
you roll?
0, roll again.
10. Roll again.
No, 10?
7.
Oh, no, yeah, 10 is a 0.
Yeah,
It's-
10.
Yeah, I might have messed that up. Sorry, so anyway.
10.
So toughness modifier is a 10. That's a 3. A 3 toughness modifier for a warrior.
I rolled the 2.
A 2, a
What's a
plus,
3? He gets
a
a
plus 10 when rolling to use ranged weapons.
All right.
So does he get a +3 when he's using his toughness rolls for something? What does that mean?
It's a plus 3 toughness modifier, like a plus 3 strength modifier.
Well, that's all.
To my
good,
stat,
and,
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so I
you
got an
just-
83.
Okay.
So you add plus you add 3. I think it should be add 3 to your roll. That's how the modifier would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put
You
plus
think
3
even
next
it's
to it.
good? Modifier adds to the roll or adds to the score?
Either.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Same thing. Here, a little different. Any other warriors? No. Yes. Healer.
Yeah. 5.
40% chance of using ley energy to negate a successful attack made on their person every
Wow.
melee round if they do nothing else in that round.
Okay.
You're invulnerable.
No, 40%.
Only if you're inactive.
Yeah.
He's
Stand
a
there,
healer.
hold it.
He's
Yeah.
just healing people.
So 40%
Inactive.
chance.
That is
Defense.
holy symbol. of- What was it?
Don't hurt me. I'm healing
Did,
someone.
please help me.
Yeah, but that's not healing people.
See, you see, it's one of these 40% chance. I don't like that.
And why is it if it's not
No, it's
attacking?
100%.
Is that something where I can? Does that mean that I can still heal, or does that mean I just have to absolutely be basically
Oh, no.
stationary, trying to be invisible? Say, "Do not see me. Do not see me." You know.
I am not here.
I am
I'm
a
right here.
rock. I am a rock.
No, it means I mean, this is gym stuff, frankly. So this is stuff I've tried to work through.
Well, that's
So,
what we have to deal
yeah,
with right now, and try to make it.
So
functional to
yeah,
your
let's
mind as
say
a DM,
you
or a
have
gate
you
GM
have
in
a
this case.
you have a 40% chance to negate. And I forget the lay energy bit. To negate a successful attack
Okay, so as long as I'm not attacking,
every round.
is that I'm doing a non-attack?
Yeah, it's basically like a block.
So I can't be healing.
Not the way I see it written here. A healer has a 40% chance to. Nah, I guess if
Don't do it.
no, if you're in the act of healing and that's what you're doing, I would say yes, you can do it.
Yeah. So it's
But it's you're
Take away
it's
from the healing.
yeah.
no.
No.
It's either something that we're going to be using or it's something that's absolutely worthless for this. You know,
It'd have to go with the healer to.
if it's going as a healing type thing, then it means that I've got some sort of aura. It's the same as this. That was the D&D spell where you could only be hit if they make their saving throw. Sanctuary. It's basically a sanctuary spell. It's just someone changed it to. All right. And yes, it should be a 40% safe from an attack. So if someone
Being
comes,
attacked.
Yeah.
so
So you get to when you're attacked, when it's successfully attacked, you get to roll again.
As long as you're not attacked.
now,
Yeah, as long as
but-
you're not taking another action.
but that generally means they'll just switch over to somebody else, right? It wouldn't be that they miss their whole attack.
Well,
I would've-
if it's an area attack, it would miss you. If it's an attack specifically on your player
okay.
character, it would miss you. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be like a repulsion, a ignore.
Hmm.
It's got to be so. If it's area effect, I think I would still be hit by it. I think it's got to be a mental. It's putting out like it's a peaceful thing. There's no need to, It's not
All right.
dangerous.
Well, maybe that's
I-
sort of.
I'm not like a warrior. I don't, I look to guys like I'm like a girl kind of thing. Don't hit me.
Like you said earlier, giants won't attack healers.
Yeah. Well,
Well, and I think that sort of comes back to it's poorly written here, and who knows? I wish I had a current version with me. I do in my phone anyway. So what we'll say is, and I think it's just the way this is written, to negate a successful lay energy attack. So you're right. So the type of, as long as it's this ignore. So if it's an energy based attack,
okay. So,
you can essentially create sanctuary, like you're saying, and ignore it.
okay. So then it actually wastes their attack.
Not, yeah, it does, but it means that
Okay.
they can.
Well, I was just thinking that. So that makes it more powerful rather than it just
Like
they just
what a-
peel over to Scott.
Like what a monk does.
Yeah.
Avoids all damage.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be sort of like a passivity thing,
Yeah,
and that you're able to do
But
that.
basically, if I'm going at you and I'm coming to kill you, and somehow there's like I'll go over to Dave here and I'll kill him.
Right.
Or
Well,
at
no.
least do
If
some
you're
severe
no.
mauling.
Well, you're saying you're the.
I'm the attacker.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming at you, but I rolled the
Well,
40%. It's like, it's either a repulsion or there's like, and I don't want to hit you, but I'm still aggressive. I would imagine you don't want to take away attacks. It would make players. Well, bad guys have this power too, right? Not
Sure.
only player characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so it's
It's a lay ability.
yeah.
So it's essentially sort of like a lay shield. And so no, what we're saying is that it doesn't
only-
protect you from melee attacks and stuff. No.
It's only energy
Yeah,
based.
it's energy based attacks.
So it's a protection because you're basically in the good side of the earth.
Mm-hmm. We're losing people already.
No.
So no, it's just the cycle of the game. Let's go. So where are we? So everyone's done with the healers,
that's a healer.
technologists. I like just call you guys just call them techs. That's cool.
7.
Tech 7.
Once a day, generate an energy shield of that does plus 30, like protection, like armor protection, essentially, for 3 rounds. And that should probably have like a range on it because it doesn't. Range.
Does the range go up and down depending on how much power I dump into it?
Yeah.
No, it's a 30-point shield that goes away.
Generate energy shield. But the question is it a personal shield?
It must be just his body.
Yeah, I think it's just a personal shield.
Yep. So it's like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, you know, you little they throw the outside. Mine are on more space ghosts.
Yep, survivalist, what number?
What did I roll?
Yes.
10, right?
Yes.
Yep. 7. Once a day, find a source of water 100% of the time.
What the fuck?
Man,
So you're always, you're good at the water, man. It's coming to you. Isn't that fun when that happens? I mean, that's just the magic of dice and all this. I love it. It seems to just make sense, right?
In the water, that'll be real good someday when we're underneath.
Nice man, Quaddy with all these water abilities.
If you're stuck in the earth or something like that, there's
Yeah,
no way
yeah.
out. Maybe you can
Underwater
find the
adventure.
river.
I can hold my breath and
Well,
swim.
I mean, there are
Get
places
jumped
that
along.
are pretty barren here. So being able to find water, like if you're in a wasteland or the desert, and being
All
able to
kinds of
purify
cool
it,
stuff underwater.
that's like really valuable. Like, I mean, you might be able to like win over a whole tribe, that has dirty water and can't figure it out.
Sadly, he
You show up
has
and
to
you're like,
drink it first.
Hello, I am the man Quati Holy Man. Let me clean your swamp.
Now let me lift up my bib and give you the purified water.
Drink from my spout.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, sure. This guy. 10 planets, that would be a felony. What's the word going to be for interstellar felony stuff?
3 minutes?
Yeah, so I changed it so that everyone starts with a base to hit lay and poison of 35. Just to keep it simple. I'm not sure how great of an idea that is. Just all keeps it base to stop and to start, and then any modifiers on top of that, and then your armor score is just based on your armor.
Yeah.
So what's all 2 hit lay and
You really want to just make them a flat 35?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then get modified by our scores or not?
Let me go see what the latest version has. Actually, I'm gonna go look it up.
Okay.
You guys have to forgive me. This is actually a version here that I printed now. Gosh, almost 2 months ago in January. Just to give Ernie a version that he could review while it was being edited by my editors.
I'm glad that I'm a giant that uses a sling, and I'm looking for little shrimps that come up to try to kill me. I'm gonna get David. I'm gonna get David this time before he can get me. The Nephilim giant. I got the sling stone. You can have the shield.
This is pretty cool. Everything's like in the clouds. So.
And phones don't show up with the crap on camera.
Yeah, no, it's too. Anyway, so let's see if I can.
I gotta hope that they might even pull your tooth, Scott. Instead of putting you through all this, you seem to be in a crappy shape.
Calculate your life force. Multiply your highest lay score times your second. Yeah, see, that's the old one. This is like the new one. Because I made it more simple for life force.
We gotta remember that place when we're
No, I guess we're gonna take a break here for a minute. I don't know where we went. But, see you guys soon.
Hit that microphone, thank you.
Yep.
Are we?
And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, okay. We're back. All right, so we're moving on to lay combat. We had some interesting talk about savings throws, and we should have been streaming more. So we're back talking about lay combat because in GiantLands lay combat, lay again for sort of magic energy is sort of available to everyone. Is used to charge a range of weapons and often is used for combat.
So it's a mana.
So, and one of the ways players use lay energy is by devoting themselves to a sigil. So sigils give special abilities to devotees. They can change as determined by the spirit keepers over the course of play, but they have some pretty specific associations with them. They tend to have area effects, charging vicinity of the area of lay energy for a time, and they have, I don't know, it says here they can only be used once a day. Lay force energy attacks happen in the last melee round, no matter what conditions there are. A foe struck with a lay energy force attack is given a savings throw, which we talked about a minute ago. Then that's your lay savings throw. If they make the saving throw, they take 0 damage from the attack. Blah, 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 more about the weapons. So again, on is an additive energy. It's the primary energy of life. It sees through all things and animates them and restores them to vigor. Sorts of abilities associated with it are healing, restoring nature, poison negation, pheromone abilities. Key is chaos, manifest as a waveform, is found in all things, kept in balance by Ra. Together as opposites. Key abilities are changing. So claws or fangs, sonics, heightened senses, sight, hearing, smell abilities, tactile and taste abilities. Zoe isn't evil necessarily, but it's destruction. And it's a required force for life and rebirth. It can bring great pain, but it's not necessarily antagonistic. It can be a friend that helps keep on in balance. Where on is the gardener, Zoe is the trimmer. Flames, weakness, sensing, lightning, smashing things, basically ignoring armor, which is interesting. Ra is a builder, a multiplier that's brings forth order. Without Ra, the world itself may have never manifested, and our souls will still be adrift in the sails of a timeless nothing that is forever. Glow, fix, armor, improvement. Then there's all these other minor spells, sort of, as well, but again, they're considered school abilities. So I don't know. We've I think we're all getting kind of tired. So I'm getting tired. I don't think we should get into that right now. Because it is. So that's why again we ship with the characters because it is a big thing and it can take a whole play section. We didn't get into this today planning on doing this. I don't think we started until probably like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right. So, but now we have a few basic questions, and it's going to be how to create an intelligent to hit system using your character stats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if it's just going to be you have a base chance of hitting of 35%, and then you get to add +1 per 10 of certain types of luck and urgency or something. So you could get a 98 would be a +9 and a 49 would be a +4, or whether if it's rounded up, whatever. You get some pluses and that's your so I would maybe get a +9 and a +4 or a +10 and a +5 to hit, so I could be up to maybe up to 50%. If urgency and luck were the things. And what's going to be the double? What's going to be the stat that's really more important? Which one of the two? I'm just trying to see, is it going to be luck all the time? Is it luck that's going to be involved in stuff, or is it
urgency and luck are quite important, at least in basic combat. Urgency is sort of gosh, I'm getting tired. Urgency is like what's that called? I can't think of what it's called now. No, it's like when you roll to see who strikes at the beginning.
Initiative?
Initiative, thank you. Yeah, so urgency is sort of like initiative.
Oh, it's a dexterity.
Yeah, you're an act. So urgency is a measure of how quickly a character is prone to act in any given situation. A character with high urgency can act more quickly in a range of situations. In some ways, it's a measure of physical and physical acuity, how observant they are, and how quickly they can act to achieve.
Boy, I'd almost rather have an acuity score.
So,
or something myself, rather than urgency. Urgency, I want to go potty all the time.
So higher urgency scores.
Those damn
higher urgency
sugar
scores
pills.
increase your luck.
Water pills, yeah.
They increase your ability to resist melee. And if you get really good, you can escape missile weapons.
That's completely like dex and perception combined, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if these things, if one of these is initiative, and the other thing is avoid a bad thing from happening, which you can do once in a while, then is there any way that spirit, mind, and toughness all individually affect one of these stats instead of having the other number, or just somehow affect it more? Where tough, is it?
Yeah, well, I like where you're going, where maybe we get rid of Jim's poison. I mean, I like poison a lot. I think it's sort of fun, but the idea that mortality is better there. So I think that's great.
Mortality.
We have our to hit. I think the having a lay score is nice. We would try to keep it simple in the sense that it both is a measure of your ability to use and resist lay.
Well, so definitely that's got to be. See, you got spirit though. Is it? Is that spirit luck thing? Is it mind? Is magic mind? Because you're trying to say.
So spirit reflects a character's inner strength.
Wisdom.
Yeah, it's sort of like wisdom.
Your inner fortitude.
Yeah.
Your mental fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
To make mistakes or not? Okay, well, so we just.
And if you have stronger spirit, it basically adds to your life force. You get life force modifiers.
Life force.
Which is
that's
like your hit points.
Yeah. All right. So toughness isn't. Toughness is more strength.
Yes, toughness is like the physical body.
Ripping phone books.
Yes.
Yeah, they are a little different. I thought it'd be fun to use. I mean, we always, looking at when we were doing this stuff as kids, especially, we always sort of made our own abilities, and I really like, the traditional abilities, but again, tried to move in some other directions.
Still here.
So yeah, again, we use in GiantLands toughness, urgency, mind, luck, and spirit, and they all have slightly different modifiers. So toughness, increases better toughness increases damage resistance and the infliction of damage. Higher mind scores help you in understanding things and finding traps, like that kind of stuff. Luck adds you can add to your rolls if you have higher luck scores. So, like if you have a luck score that's 120, you can use a plus 25 to any roll 4 times a day.
Wow.
Okay, at some point.
If you have even a 38, you get a plus 2 to any roll once a day. And these are game days, not real days.
Yeah.
But this is what, your luck?
Yeah, that's for luck.
What about 99?
99 luck, you get a plus 20 twice a day.
91?
Yep. Oh wait, was that a 91? Is that what you said?
No, mine's His was
Oh, you get a plus 15. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it is plus 15. No, that should be changed.
91 is a what then?
Plus 15
Plus
twice,
15.
twice a day?
No, once a day.
Once a
There we
day.
go. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
And 99 is plus 20 once a day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. Okay.
You're lucky.
92 to 97 is plus 15 twice a day. 72 to 91 is plus 15. 55 to 71 is plus 10. 49 to 54 is plus 5. These are once. 34 to 48 is plus 2. 25 to 37 plus 1. Anything less than that, you actually start getting negative modifiers because you get bad luck.
Bad luck.
Which you could do for fun. You might have a bad luck score, which would stink, but you can't. With the mulligan rule, you'd be able to change it. You guys also all have that additional D10 to add to any of your ability scores as you see fit, although upon creation.
So our 2 hit, what did we figure out that number yet?
No.
No, we kind of scrambled to hit. And, I sort of, Ernie kind of
In our lay?
broke it apart, and I'm sort of lost now, waiting for Ernie answers.
And then
Jesus Christ.
we also don't know our lay.
No, we determined that what lay was, but yeah, now Ernie's trying to rethink how we come up with
I
scores.
think
for these systems.
there should be a strike, there should be a physical blow, and there should be tools or any other attack. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
You don't want to call it melee, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
going to
a-
be melee.
It's a whole different attitude to be punching or slashing into somebody than using a tool and killing from a distance or jabbing them. Or, well, no, I guess even a spear is.
Fast piece of metal is still a fast piece of metal. Doesn't matter if you're swinging it or shooting it.
Can my bow shoot wrenches?
Yes, it can.
If it's a wrench shooting bow.
Of course. Do lots of stuff. I don't.
Yeah, I always thought. I mean, yeah, we should just have probably a range, a strike. I really liked. I liked the idea when we started. I don't think we were streaming then, but we started talking about defenses, or you started talking about defenses, and I think that was sort of an interesting take that maybe we would. I was really trying to move away. So my understanding of where this all comes from for me, where I went with this, and Jim's influence on this. I wanted to move away from armor class and hit points, and things that made players seem like tanks. Player characters seem like tanks. I wanted them to feel more like characters rather than armored units on a battlefield. And so I think it's important to change that language. So I don't mind using defenses, but it sort of starts to get close to that. I think that.
Well, that's what mortality is not defense.
No, that's why I like mortality a lot. But I guess that's in replacement of defense. But I still think a defense, something like defense, is a good idea, because that's different than like your resistance to a strike. And you could talk about evasion and stuff like that.
Well, that's why I figured the boots at +5 just means you're dodging. You're able to you're getting out of the way a little bit.
So the boots, and where the boots are going to just be +5, like.
Well, armor,
Evasion?
frankly, as a concept, and you can speak to this more. Armor as a concept in TTRPGs is an interesting thing to me, and it's never really made. What is the best way you've seen it used, or how do you think it's best used? Because it's used a bunch of different ways in the D&D versions, and sometimes when I get into them, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
There never is a best way. It's just which way do you want to go and play along it and run with it. If you're doing damage reduction, then do mostly damage reduction stuff. If there's going to be, then the only reason, then you have to have people that don't have any encumbrance are more evasive.
Right.
That's the scary part. But there's limited evasiveness for the average form. There's not too many. Well, there was one Chinaman, I think it was, that avoided a black powder shot on film back in like the 30s or something like that. But it was, the guy knew it was coming and it was all set up, and he was able to dodge out of so it would slow down film.
Real Matrix stuff.
Yeah.
Bullet
But
time.
you know, this is a single shot, knowing it's yeah, big puff of.
Yeah, and and some systems can get real burdensome, and I'm just not sure how useful some of that stuff is. Like, we can talk it out, and I understand this like desire for realism in it, but yeah, I haven't really seen a system that makes a lot of sense. So in the end, I decided it was better, rather than trying to make it make sense, just to keep it simple. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff?
No, I don't.
Simple is better.
It depends on. I like game you can pick up. The thing about and I realized once we play this, we'd realize the character generation go much more quickly. But I remember people going painstakingly through. Oh, and then my grandfather was this, and 10, 20, 30 feet. Oh, I died. And then after 4 hours, we're creating a character, and the people are just the person is just crushed.
Yeah. It takes a lot of energy. That's why, again, in this setting, if I would have arrived here prepared, I probably would have arrived with enough pre-made characters.
Yeah. Right.
All I have intended to ship with a box are 2. So, because I just want to say it's intended for 3 or more, with 1 person playing the GM or Spirit Keeper and 2 players. And I figure that's enough to start, but this is showing me that maybe if I really want it to be up to 6 out of the box, I should just include them. And frankly, earlier versions, I made 8 characters for Jim for some of the versions of the game he ran. Forgive me.
Depends on how much each one costs to print. I don't know printing anymore.
Oh, it's negligible. Yeah.
Then you might
And I have a lot of neat art. I don't know if they all can be Elmores though. So I started thinking it was cool to ship Larry Elmore pre-made characters in the box. So those images that you saw in the characters here. Yeah, so my friend Steve, who's an amazing artist as well from the UK, he colored them. So these are Larry was extremely generous. And it's going to make me cry. I get emotional. I'm getting tired.
Jeff Easley was.
No, I mean, this is amazing. I still can't believe I'm doing this.
Company first.
So one of the early things that Larry did for us, and Larry is amazing. I wish we could look forward to having him around to talk and play. He doesn't play that much these days, but he loves sharing stories. It's so fun. And so one of the first things he did for us was a lot of pencil sketches, and really tried to figure out the composition. And at first I didn't want to give him any direction. This is the way I tend to like to work with people. I'm just like, just do it. Just get inspired, find something in here, sink your teeth into it, and show me what you come up with. So he created this image, and I thought it was really cool, but I don't remember what happened, but we decided to get rid of it. But he did all the pencils. It was awesome. So he gave it to me basically I shouldn't say this, but he was very generous. And so we used it, and my buddy Steve, because he said, nah, I shouldn't do a Larry voice. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, you can have your friend deal with it. I don't want to mess with it. I was like, all right, Larry, no problem. So I thought, man, who would really be honored by it? Because that's an extremely big honor, getting to ink and color Elmore. I mean, wow. So I asked my buddy Steve.
You should have just kept the black images, and you could have done your own coloring book, right?
Well, we do have them. We have them still.
Okay,
we have them still, and they're great. And it's really fun too because you can feel his process in it. He's a traditionally trained artist, right? So he does them all on vellum. And it's like old school Photoshop, right? So he's got all these layers, and he just kind of shifts them around till he finds a composition that works for you. And it's usually one of these great Elmore encounter moments. And then he'll tape it down and lacquer it together, and he uses that as his basis for his next composition. So anyway, so we got rid of all of those, and I've used them for the cover of all our booklets, are all Elmores painted by my buddy Steve, or colorized and inked. And then I also use them for the character sheets.
Steven, let's try one encounter just to see how the combat goes. Yeah, just to see.
Oh, I agree. I'm ready to do it.
Let's do it.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta take a break myself real quick.
Check it out.
And we'll be
Barely
back.
got high. bacteria or whatever else.
And we're back here at the Hobby
Except
Shop
for
Dungeon,
in general.
playtesting GiantLands. We've been doing this for about, what, like 4,
Something
about
like
5 hours now, I think. And we're still in character creation, and now we're sort of nitpicking various elements. We're almost there, but we've sort of reinvented some of the savings throws and are talking through it now. And I'm trying to get players to choose a sigil. So sigils help you align with different kinds of ley energy. And ley energy is a primary source energy for the world at this point. And there's 4 types, and so you sort of align yourself with a form of energy, and it helps you do certain things or not do other things.
All right, so I'm an additive, so that's your basic.
Yeah, that's your on energy.
And that's what's that, an A double N or?
Just AN. You can actually see it around the life wheel there.
Okay.
They're represented. And,
Oh wait, if I had the life wheel.
oh right, yeah. I guess I forgot you guys don't have it.
I
So
drew-
this
I
is
drew a
like,
real quick one.
yeah. So this is what it looks on this particular pre-made
I
character.
would be upper left, I
So-
think.
Okay.
Upper left.
So
And then-
I'm a bomb throwing leftist.
You belong in Seattle, my friend.
So yeah, so just pick one, and as a player becomes more adept, you'll understand the energies better. But we should probably get into it, and they do have different abilities associated with it, yada yada yada. But
Okay.
I think we're all getting so tired. We're just trying to get into do a simple encounter. So I think we're kind of where does everyone feel like we've got
let's
basic
do it.
stats now?
Let's see what we got.
And then I'm just gonna try to do maybe a 3-step little encounter here. Try to have a kind of a quick adventure, and let you guys go up, use your abilities, and go up against a few different foes. Obviously, we can't have any too big overarching plot, and I'm not going to pretend that we'll continue this at another time. This is just more for us to kind of play through this.
See how it plays. Yeah.
See how it feels from here. And again, because I didn't arrive prepared to do this, I don't really have an adventure.
Use your thumb.
Yeah.
So what if we get killed? Find a monster with your thumb in the book.
Oh yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Just got a
No, I mean, I
random.
sort of have an idea already. So
Okay.
let's see. So yeah, I will
Let's have the
use
counter.
the 5th age index. I will try not to refer to the Keeper's Guide too much, but sometimes the Spirit Keeper will need to refer to books. I don't like, when you have to refer to books too much in the course of a game, but especially with a new game with, a range of special rules, sometimes it's a good idea. But, I'm a big believer in, Jim was really great about this. Maybe you can speak to it too a little bit, Ernie. The idea that especially your father was always really interested in the flow of play, and that when you're playing, it should be a great story, and you shouldn't necessarily interrupt it with a lot of hitting the books while you're at the table.
No, that's true. That's why you have reference charts.
And I guess those occurred pretty early. I guess in the original D&D, we have reference sheets. Did those serve a
Yep, it
similar
was
function?
actually called the reference sheet.
Yeah, I have a set of them. Is that what their intention was?
Well, no, a lot of it was forgot. It was instead of having to go in the books and look around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, quick,
And also typos.
quick charts, quick reference sheet.
Mhm.
Typos.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's kind of like what the DM shields were too,
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
It was all there, so you didn't have to take time and screw around.
Those were such holy items. I remember when we were kids.
Made shit flow
Yeah.
proper.
All right. Well, you guys are, a band of weary travelers, and you've been together for a while. You live inside of a chiefdom called Cahokia. And Cahokia is a multi-species sort of city around a temple complex. And it's rather thriving. It's been around for a few hundred years. Like most cultures in the area, it's tribal, and there's essentially a chief that sits at the top.
Would that be a chieftain?
Yes.
Okay.
And you guys, are, you call the chiefdom the Kada chiefdom, which is Cadda. You are a river peoples, and there's a great river that aligns with the city, so it's surrounded by marshlands, and there's a lot of wild rice harvesting that happens nearby. as an adventuring party, you sort of are called upon every now and then by the council and by the chief to investigate matters because of clearly your special abilities, as some of you kick some pretty clear butt, right? Recently, a great comet crashed north of the city about 2 nights ago.
Or foreigners.
You've been called to go investigate it. Usually when this happens, there can be a range of things, as you guys have experienced this before, and there's a lot of tales about the different things that can emerge from these comets, these seeds that come from the sky. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be sort of like what you would imagine is your old sci-fi story, this creature come out of it. Sometimes it's technologies. Right. Sometimes it's sort of it could be a cursed ship, right? It could be a range of things. But you're asked to go investigate it, and you've been called before your chief, and he encourages you to go north. There is a boy whose name is Itzel, and Itzel saw the comet come down because he was in the pastures that evening overwatching the reed harvest. And he's willing to go with you to show you where he believes the comet may have landed.
Okay.
There is still some trails of smoke that seem to be rising from that direction, but they have dissipated, or are dissipating.
Does Itzel know if it has fallen in? It's in our land, so we don't have to walk around weapons ready because it's our land, so we know it's a safe land.
It's in it's in an area that's not considered to be of the chiefdom. It's not considered enemy territory or hostile in any way, but it's at a distance enough where you just might not be sure.
Okay.
All right.
Let's follow young Itzel.
It's let's say it's relatively early in the morning, and you have a nice day ahead of you. Should you choose to leave now?
Let's do it.
All right. So you and your adventurers gather your things and proceed in what direction?
Following Itzel.
Yeah.
All right.
Itzel knows the way.
Yeah, Itzel says, "Come." Itzel says, "All right, come on, guys. I'll show you where my father has me keep pasture on the second moon."
Do we know what Itzel is?
Itzel is a small Manquati boy.
Okay. So that's why it's reeds again. Like they make all this armor out of.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
Exactamundo. So,
I'll walk up near front because I am taller, just like Ernie is, and that way I think we'll have a better vision.
I thought we could see over the little guys.
Yeah. So, but that's true. It's take the back.
No, I don't look way back.
As Itzel
front.
sees you organizing, he says, "No, come on, it's okay, come on. You don't have anything to worry. We're just going up to my pasture."
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so
I
Dave.
wanna walk right
All
next
right,
to him.
so
Dave's in the
you
front.
proceed
I'll
up.
block it up the way.
You proceed up out of the valley, and over the first pass and under this pasture.
I'm a good 12 feet behind
Takes you about an hour to walk. You arrive and see this field of kind of glowing reeds, kind of softly blowing in the breeze.
They're not supposed to glow, right?
Huh?
They're not supposed to normally glow.
No, they glow when they're growing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay.
They're feeding off the lay energy.
If it's glowing, it's growing.
Yeah. And
We could start a business here.
yeah, exactly.
Reed armor.
He says, "No, that's my father's business. He'd kill you first." And he sort of says, "I think this might be as far as I can go." And he points to a taller tree that you can see sort of at the north of the field. And he says, follow the line of big trees. It seemed to go, let's see, what kind of measures would Itzel talk about? And,
Volumetric.
yeah, I know. So, yeah, exactly. I started writing it, but it sort of felt weird writing kilometers. I was like, that doesn't make
It
sense.
sounds like it.
But,
How many clicks,
when you're so far in the future, you just can't make everything up. I remember, anyway,
How many stone?
Yeah. So
Let's go back to Roman measurements.
yeah, 3 spears.
Parsecs. Parsecs.
Yeah, right.
How many leagues?
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll say a half a day, right? So about
All right.
a half a day, as a Menquati walks in that direction.
How many hours are in the day here?
Yeah, no, this is Earth. So yeah.
So is it still based off a 24-hour
Yeah.
system? Okay.
Mhm.
Even with the Earth tilted again in a different way.
Yeah, I don't really
The
believe
Romans showed up quickly and
I don't
created a
believe
calendar.
in conventional time myself, so at this point, they don't have, your regular kind of clock. But yeah, they still have a sundial, and, they can kind of tell what time of day it is. But
All right.
they're not like, it's 1 o'clock. Half a day has passed, it's almost evening.
We lost Jeff definitely. Snuck away.
Oh, well.
That's okay.
He's good.
Yeah, that's
he's a
fine.
bird guy. He's
Yeah,
still-
that's fine. He arrived late, and, anyway.
All right.
So,
So it's about a half day's more walk.
yeah, that's what he says. You gotta keep walking about a half day.
Name's Oliver.
So let's see.
About what? Are we at midday right now, even though we left early? What?
No, it's not quite midday yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So do you walk towards the trees?
Is there a high point that we can see even slightly off? Is there a way that we can look and see where we're walking rather than
No,
walking
not
over?
really, because it's sort of like another small little valley where the reeds lie, and then the trees up on the other side. And it looks like basically sort of old growth. It's really big lumbers in
Is
the
there any way we
distance.
can talk Itzel into taking us further?
No.
No, he's
'Cause,
really.
just
these
this
are.
way, half day. That could be literally anywhere.
Yeah, his keep is to watch over those reeds,
Okay.
and he was only told to show you, in the general direction for where it
Is there any
came. So
smoke coming up, or is
yeah,
there,
like I
okay.
said, there
There's-
is some trails still kind of coming from that direction as if
Alright.
it was burning, but they've lessened. So the impression is as you get closer to it, it will dissipate. Right?
All right, so I think we should just continue on so we don't lose our trail.
Okay.
All right. As you approach the trees, you notice some large mushrooms